The Joe Cool murder case finally came to a close this afternoon as Guillermo Zaragoza was charged for his involvement in the killings of the 4 crew members. For me personally, it was well worth every second. President-elect Barack Obama says help is on the way for the nation's economy. The couple was charged with aggravated child abuse, but the reports are very vague. They do say that the alleged incident did happen right behind me. The Knight Foundation challenged the South Florida community to come up with their best ideas to improve the arts. His motto, which is change we can believe in, is something that students were certainly excited about for the upcoming election. Despite all the criticism that Alex Rodriguez has faced this week after his admission to steroids, back on September the 19th, Barack Obama brought his campaign across campus to the Bank United Center. If you were at the rally like I was, it was a day that will never be forgotten. Some students began waiting in line as early as 6 in the morning, just for the rare chance to see Senator Obama in person. This campaign stop was called the Women's Rally for Change and featured some of the most prominent women politicians from around the country. After hours of anticipation, Obama's arrival was met with an uproar from the thousands that were in attendance.
I just want to say I'm fired up.
Obama's message? Praise of the influential women of America, teachers, nurses, caregivers.
And speaking of powerful women, how about the president of the University of Miami, Dr.
Obama spoke for about 30 minutes, sounding the familiar themes of his campaign. His motto, which is change we can believe in, is something that students were certainly excited about. After the speech, students had plenty to say about attending the rally.
I really thought that he addressed what he would do from day one and how he would bring about those changes in his policies, and I like that a lot.
You know, yes you can, yes we can. It's all about change with Obama.
Many students said afterwards that the long hours spent in line and the early wake-up call were worth it to be a part of the rally. For me personally, it was well worth every second. Reporting live from the school communication courtyard for the News Vision Election Edition, I'm Alex Margulies. Now back to Studio B. It was just a couple of weeks ago that they were waging a fight for the White House, a fight that sometimes turned bitter. But today, Barack Obama and John McCain sat down in Chicago talking about ways to work together. In a statement afterward, they said they had talked about the need to launch a new era of reform to challenge government waste and partisanship in Washington. Congressional officials say the Bush administration plans to leave at least half of the $700 billion financial bailout untouched when it leaves office in January. That would leave it to the incoming Obama administration to decide whether and how the funds should be spent. As newly elected lawmakers get their Capitol Hill orientation today, the current Congress is discussing how and whether the federal government should help the auto industry. Senate Democrats are backing a bill that would send some of the $700 billion financial bailout money to Detroit's big 3 automakers. It's been a rocky day on Wall Street so far. The Dow is down as much as 200 points this morning, then found its way into positive territory, but eventually moved lower again. Among the economic signs rattling traders, banking giant Citigroup announced it will cut another 53,000 jobs. And residents in a mobile home park in northern Los Angeles are getting their first look at what's left after this weekend's wildfire destroyed nearly 500 homes in the area. Calmer winds today are allowing firefighters to gain control over 2 major blazes. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger has declared a state of emergency in San Bernardino County, part of a 4-county area scorched by one of the fires. Travelers are finding unusually clear roads and short airport lines today as economic worries appear to be keeping people closer to home for the Thanksgiving holiday. AAA says about 600,000 fewer people are expected to be traveling than last year, with air travel down about 7%. President-elect Barack Obama says help is on the way for the nation's economy. Obama announced 2 more members of his economic team at a news conference today in Chicago. He introduced former Federal Reserve Chairman Paul Volcker to head a new White House advisory board focused on creating jobs and bringing stability to the nation's financial system. He also introduced University of Chicago economist Austin Goolsbee as the top staff official on the panel. Obama defended himself against critics who accused him of recycling Clinton administration officials, saying his aim is to create a cabinet that combines experience with fresh thinking. For the fourth straight day, Wall Street is seeing gains, with stocks rising moderately after Barack Obama's latest remarks. Obama promised that he would have a plan in place to deal with the nation's economic crisis on his first day in office. Earlier today, the government reported that the number of new requests for unemployment benefits fell last week, but they're still at recessionary levels. At least 16 people have been killed and dozens wounded in a series of attacks in Mumbai, India. Officials and media reports say terrorist gunmen opened fire at 7 sites in the city, including 2 luxury hotels. A senior police officer says police continue to battle the gunmen. And finally, Thailand's prime minister says he won't allow protesters to topple his elected government. The remarks came after opponents took over and shut down Bangkok's main airport. That prompted the army's commanding general to call for new elections.